We'll call the Town of Rome Plan Commission public hearing and regular meeting to order for Tuesday, August 9th, 2022 at 4 o'clock p.m. Item number 2 will be roll call, starting on my right.
Williams here.
Drazek here.
Baker.
Goldman.
Albertson.
Wiesinger.
Commissioner Jamadi is excused. Also present are Town Administrator Jamie Gebert and Town Attorney Nick Flanagan. Item number 3 is to certify the posting of the meeting. Jamie?
You here for plan? Yep, right spot. Okay, the agenda for the August 9th Plan Commission meeting was posted at the following locations on July 22nd, 2022. The Rome Municipal Building at 4:43 p.m., Quick Trip Incorporated at 4:30 p.m., Nakusa Port Edward State Bank at 4:39 p.m. It was emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 3:59 p.m. It was posted on the town website July 25th at 2:29 p.m. And the legal notice is printed in the Wisconsin Rapids Daily Tribune at July 26th and August 2nd.
Thank you. Item number 4 is to approve the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Jerry and second by Larry to approve the agenda as presented. Any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 5 is the citizen comment portion. Any cards, Jamie?
No cards received.
Okay, for those of you that are out there, we'll take comments from you on a specific agenda item as called by the chair, but not during the citizen comment portion, which is going to be over. Please note that once the commission begins discussion on an agenda item, no further comment will be allowed from the public on that issue. No action contemplated except possible referral to a future agenda. Item number 6 is information, updates, recent correspondence, current events, and announcements. Does anybody have anything that they would like to bring forward? We do have music in the Rome Town Center at the gazebo, starting at 5:30 and goes till 7:30, I believe.
Yep.
If anybody's interested in that. 6A, Joint CDA Planning Commission Subcommittee Review. Jamie?
So the subcommittee met right before this meeting. We are through the chapters, the review of each chapter. We are now onto the future land use map and having that conversation. We just started that today, and I'll make some notes on our map in marker, and we'll bring that back to continue that conversation next meeting. And we're also in the midst of having conversation about canopies, gazebos, screen tents, pop-up tents, etc. So. All of those documents always posted online under the agendas and minutes. It's always welcome to join those conversations if you want. Or if you wanted those agendas sent to you separately.
Thank you. 6B is the Grants Committee Review. Do we have an update or anything going on that?
So the last meeting, we actually had a really great presentation from Encourage out of Wisconsin Rapids, and we talked about their What If grant, which I wasn't part of the town in 2004, but in 2004 when they did the Community Progress Initiative, there was actually a endowment started for the town of Rome through that initiative with a match from Barker Mead. Maybe Jerry remembers this. So Barker Mead said that they would match up to $20,000. Town of Rome raised $25,000, and so there still is a $46,000 endowment that is at Encourage just for the town of Rome. The granting portion of that is 4% plus 1% fees that they carry. But we had a good conversation about that and how that could potentially work into the grants committee going forward.
Thank you. Item number 7 is to open the public hearing. 7A, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. Short-term rental at the property located at 106B County Road Z, owned by Bernacki County Z LLC, also described as Government Lot 2, Unit 2, Sunset Bay Condominium, Section 20, Town 20 North, Range 5 East, Town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-00047-0501. Jamie?
So there were 3 notice letters that were sent to properties within 200 feet of the affected property. Staff are recommending a maximum occupancy of 4 and a maximum vehicles of 2 to be parked on hard surfaces. Again, applicant must comply with all short-term rental requirements before first rental occurs. So tonight's motion, if accepted, is not that final consideration.
Thank you. Ma'am?
I don't know exactly what's
you are interested in hearing it. It's new construction. I was
Excuse
here
me.
a month ago.
Is it light on there? Red light?
Now it is.
Oh, now they can hear you.
My name is Mary Bernacchi. I'm the owner. I also own the unit next to it, which is, they're both new construction properties. They were built, intended to either be a small home, or for short-term rental purposes. I own the first one. We have not started marketing it yet, but it's fully furnished. This one is not yet furnished. We have had the fire and the health inspector out to look at it. We're hoping to be able to attract people to your area. We want to make them be five-star type accommodations for families or couples that might be traveling. We haven't started marketing yet, but we do this also in Green Bay, so we understand what it is like to do this. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Nick?
Yeah, I just have a couple on the application. Do you have a local property manager?
I have Al Edmondson is the person that is he's available for the 25-mile consideration, but I have a property manager, Rigsby Property Management, that is doing the property management.
So you'll have property manager
I have
within the
yes,
25
yeah,
miles
yeah.
and have.
But the full-time property manager is actually in Appleton.
And then I do see on the application, you have for the proposed term indeterminate 3 to 5 years. Are you requesting
No.
a limited
No.
duration?
When I filled the form out, I didn't know why you were asking that.
Okay.
Forever, but I'm not gonna probably live that long. Okay,
Understand, thank you.
thank you.
The only other thing I would note is that sometimes there's a delay with land records. This land doesn't reflect in the, your development yet. It still reflects in Ed Vinson's name.
Okay,
So, do you know when that was actually recorded? So it would.
should have been in June 9th or something like that. We closed.
Okay.
So it should be on its way through.
Okay.
The other one does register, correct?
The other one does register in your name, but this one still registers in the,
Okay.
the
I
prior
don't know if
name.
I look out with the title company, I have title for the property.
Okay. We just wanted to make sure.
Commissioners, any questions of this lady? Hearing none, well, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
7B, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose: short-term rental located at the property located at 1484 Spyglass Court, owned by Michael and Stacy Dedden, also described as Lot 22 of Pinehurst addition to Lake Arrowhead, northwest 1/4, southwest 1/4, section 13, town 20 north, range 5 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-03778-0521. Jamie?
So there were 5 notice letters sent to properties within 200 feet of this property. Staff would recommend here a maximum occupancy of 15 and a maximum vehicles of 7 to be parked on hard surfaces. Again, approval tonight doesn't mean approval through the whole process, and Michael and Stacy are here to represent the property.
What can you tell us?
Hello. What I can tell you is we're super excited to own 1484 Spyglass. We are new to the area. We came on reference of our friends Rob Ziegler. And because we live in Colorado, we would like to short-term rent our property when we're not going to be able to be here. But eventually, when we get to retirement age, this is going to be our home. So
Looks
we're
like it's
super
gonna be a
excited to-
long time.
No, well, thank you. I so appreciate that. Yeah, so we're super excited. We have hired, local. Our 24-hour person is going to be Amanda Ehlers, and she's also going to be our cleaner as well. And she lives 3 minutes from our property.
Okay.
This will be Amanda's 4th property with us, so she is an experienced property manager.
Anything else, Nick?
No, that answers it, thank you.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions of this couple? Hearing nothing, then, well, thank you.
Thank you.
7C, consideration of the issuance of conditional use permit for the following purpose: a short-term rental at the property located at 359 Twin Lakes Trail, owned by Catherine and Mark Pearson, also described as Lot 18 to Twin Lakes, northeast 1/4, southeast 1/4, section 15, town 20 north, range 5 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-01826-0018. Jamie?
So we sent 6 notice letters to properties within 200 feet of this property. Staff would recommend 11 as the maximum occupancy and 5 vehicles to, again, to be parked on hard surfaces. And same as before. Approval tonight is not approval through the whole process. And Kate Pearson is here, not from This Is Us, the actual Kate Pearson, the real Kate Pearson.
Not
to
from the
join us tonight.
B-52s either. Hi, we purchased this piece of property in October, my husband and I, as a vacation rental. And we used to vacation up in Saint Germain every year with our family, and unfortunately, they sold the house that we went to. So as we were driving home from Saint Germain, we found this lovely area and this house. So we are up here quite frequently, probably every week. If my husband could have it his way, he'd be up here all the time, but not quite yet. So when we retire, we hope to be up here as well. But when we're not using it, we would like to short-term rental the property. I don't know if you have any questions.
Nick?
Yep, I do see you're in Illinois. Do you have a property manager on call 24 hours?
So we have a person who is listed there as the 24-hour notice. He can be called if there's any problems. I am going to be hands-on. We live about 2.5 hours away in terms of, we'll be here, check in, check out, to oversee everything. Like I said, we're up here all the time. I'll manage all of the reservations, the phone calls. But if there's any questions, there is a 24-hour number for someone that's local.
I'm not seeing it on the application.
Oh, his name
It's
is
on
Todd.
the short-term rental application.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Do you need his information or?
No,
Okay.
no.
Nope,
we
as
have it
long
on the
as we
short
have it
term
on file
Okay.
with the town.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And again, they would be the individual that's going to be called through the 24-hour hotline.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
because that number has to be that
He is
25
aware
line.
and fine, and we speak all the time, so it's not a big deal, but,
Todd is his name.
yeah, Todd.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Item 7D, just so everyone's aware, this couple are gonna be on the phone. They're residing right now in North Carolina. So consideration of the issuance of conditional use permit for the following purpose: a short-term rental at the property located at 355A Pinehurst Drive, owned by Eric and Karen Brown, also described as Lot 27, the Pinehurst addition, Lake Arrowhead, northeast 1/4, southwest 1/4, section 13, town 20 north, range 5 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-03778-0526. Jamie.
11 notice letters were sent to properties within 200 feet of this property. Staff would recommend a maximum occupancy of 12 and a maximum vehicles of 6. And Eric is actually joining us this evening from Canada on the phone. Eric, would you like to add anything about the property and the usage of it as a short-term rental?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me all right, Jamie?
Yep, we certainly can.
All right, thanks. Thanks for accommodating. I am a Wisconsin native. I came to the town of Rome a few years ago, golfed at Sand Valley, absolutely fell in love with it, and that's how this whole process began. So this is a property that we just recently purchased, in addition to a few lots in the area. My vision here is to really allow other families and outdoor enthusiasts to see what I see in the town of Rome and take advantage of all the amenities. That was really the reason for the purchase of this property. This is something that my family will use, business colleagues will use, and for the rest of the time that we do not use it, it's designed to be a short-term rental.
Nick?
Uh,
Good?
Just one question. Do you have a property manager that will be overseeing the property and the contact person?
Yes, absolutely. I'll be hands-off with this. We have entered into an agreement with Patriot Properties. They manage other properties in the area. Chris Gantz is the specific property manager.
Thank you.
Just confirm, Patriot, as a property management company, I think handles one other. Is Chris actually located within 25 miles or less of the property?
He is not physically located within 25 miles, but he has staff and 24-hour people that manage the properties within 25 miles.
Is it possible just to have an additional, in care of that individual, provide us the contact for that individual that would be the one that's responding within the 25 miles?
Sure, I can get that from Chris.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else, Nick?
Oh, thank you.
Does any of the commissioners have any questions for this gentleman? Hearing none, then just remain on the line, sir, until we get back to you.
Absolutely, thanks.
7E, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. Short-term rental at the property located at 361 White Waters Trail, owned by Dagmara Kamianka, also described as Lot 57 of Quiet Waters addition to Lake Arrowhead, southeast 1/4, northeast 1/4, section 18, town 20 north, range 6 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, with a parcel number of 030-03832. And I hope I didn't butcher your name too bad.
No, you didn't. That's okay. I'm used to it, so it's not a big deal.
One second. 10 notice letters were sent to properties within 200 feet of this property. Staff would recommend a maximum occupancy of 8 and a maximum vehicles of 4.
So, as the rest of the people, we purchased the property as a vacation property, and at the time that we're not here, we're hoping to rent it out. So at some point, I'm hoping that the property can send one of my kids to college, maybe, or something. So, and that's the reason it was recommended to us by our real estate agent, and we love the area the minute that we came over. So we love the amenities and everything around it. So we're just hoping, that we can get extra income whenever we're not here.
Okay. Nick?
Yep. Do you have a property manager that will be on?
Yes. So right now we have, her name is Kirsa Roman, and I can give you her phone number.
Why don't you email it to me?
Okay,
Yep.
no problem.
Just because we record these, we don't need to give her phone number to everybody.
And Ms. Roman is within 25 miles?
She's within 15 minutes away from the property. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, questions? Hearing none, thank you. Ma'am?
Thank you.
Item number 8 is to close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, seconded by Dan to close the public hearing. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next section is discussion and possible action on the following items. Number 9, discussion and possible action regarding the meeting minutes from Tuesday, July 12th, 2022. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Paul to approve the minutes from July 12th as presented. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 10, discussion of possible action, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. Short-term rental at the property located at 106B County Road Z, owned by Bernacchi County Z LLC. Also described as Government Lot 2, Section 20, Town 20 North, Range 5 East, Town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin. Parcel number of 030-00047-0501. Nick?
Yes, so just a reminder that numbers 10 through 14 all have findings of fact. As we had discussed at the last meeting, one update to the findings of fact documents that you'll have, and you may have noticed, is we do have the standards that the Plan Commission typically follows as a suggested start. If, after your review, you want to make a motion to approve it and agree to that, then you can just make that motion, approve the findings of fact as presented, rather than having to read each of those individually.
Yep, so we now have the max occupancy, max vehicles, and on hard surfaces, property manager within 25 miles. And that the term of the conditional use shall be indefinite as long as the current owner holds a short-term rental license. Meaning if any of the properties sell, they have to go through this process with new ownership.
And or if they let the license lapse.
Or if they let the license lapse.
Or is there another one also, if they don't have any activity for a certain period of time, didn't we?
We would be following up with them.
I see,
If
okay.
if they didn't renew.
Okay.
And that requires a specific process that would revoke the conditional use permit.
Gotcha, thank you.
Also, if there's any citations involved, that,
3 citations, we can remove the license, yes.
so we don't have to have that on the finding of the fact,
Nope,
though?
it's part of the code,
Okay.
which they're all provided in the packet,
Yeah, all that's related to the short-term license, not the,
conditional
not the
use.
conditional use.
Although, obviously, if we revoke the license,
Automatically,
it pulls it back and,
Right.
and brings it back to the term and the current short-term rental license piece. So it's all interrelated, certainly,
Right.
but it is covered by our ordinance.
Was there anything that we should consider because of the plot wasn't recorded yet?
If you are comfortable with the fact that she says she has title, and does own the property next door, I'm comfortable with that. If you would want to add that as an additional condition, that the property reflects that same ownership, we could add that. We have in the past, when it hasn't been all the way recorded yet.
Wouldn't that just be part of the normal procedure, though? That it has to be there?
Certainly that this conditional use permit is associated with Mary and the LLC. It is not associated with anyone else.
No, but I mean, the fact that she would have to have that before she would get her permit, isn't that covered under the finding of the fact then?
I think the other part where it's covered under the findings of fact is that term. It very clearly references current property owner, so.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
I think you're covered in that regard too.
Can I forward the title?
Yep, you could. Yep, if you're comfortable with doing that just as an insurance, yes. Again, sometimes land records within the county, as the process goes through, it takes a little bit longer to just load it to the online site.
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use permit for the property located at 106B County Road Z with the findings of fact as presented.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, second by Dan to approve the conditional use permit. Is there any other discussion on this item? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 11, discussion of possible action, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. The short-term rental at the property located at 1484 Spyglass Court, owned by Michael and Stacy Dedden, also described as Lot 22 of Pinehurst addition to Lake Arrowhead, northwest 1/4, southwest 1/4, section 13, town 20 north, range 5 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, with a parcel number 030-03778-0521.
Again, just noting, Mary's done this once before, but just noting, we do have a couple items yet to complete. So those would have to be completed before, yep, we're totally done with the process. Okay.
A motion to approve the issuance of a conditional use permit for the short-term rental at the property located at 1484 Spyglass Court
Second.
with the findings of fact as presented.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, second by second by Jeff to approve the conditional use permit. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 12, discussion of possible action, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. The short-term rental at the property located at 359 Twin Lakes Trail, owned by Catherine and Mark Pearson, also described as Lot 18 to Twin Lakes, northwest 1/4, southeast 1/4, section 15, town 20 north, range 5 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-01826-0018.
And Kate, also understanding, we have some things that we still have to get worked through. Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use permit. It includes the findings of fact at the property at 359 Twin Lakes Trail.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Jerry, to approve the conditional use permit. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 13, this is related to Eric that's on the telephone. Discussion of possible action, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. The short-term rental at the property located at 355A Pinehurst Drive, owned by Eric and Karen Brown, also described as Lot 27 of Pinehurst addition to Lake Arrowhead, northeast 1/4, southwest 1/4, section 13, town 20 north, range 5 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-03778-0526.
And again, Eric, just noting that we have a couple items that we need to finish up, so approval tonight does not mean approval to rent.
Understand, absolutely. Thank you.
I'll make a motion, we issue a conditional use permit for the property located at 355A Pinehurst Drive.
Second.
Is your
Would
motion
it-
to adopt the findings of fact as
With
well?
the, yes, with the option of finding of the fact.
And your second also?
Yes.
Motion by Larry, seconded by Jerry to approve the conditional use permit. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 14, discussion of possible action, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. The short-term rental at the property located at 361 White Waters Trail, owned by Dagmara Kamyanka. I'm sorry. Also described as Lot 57 of Quiet Waters addition to Lake Arrowhead, southeast 1/4, northeast 1/4, section 18, town 20 north, range 6 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-03832.
Same, we have a, cool.
I'll make a motion to issue a conditional use permit for the short-term rental of property located at 361 White Waters Trail with the condition, with the findings of fact as presented.
I'll say it.
Motion by Jerry, seconded by Jeff to approve the conditional use permit. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 15. Discussion and possible referral to future agenda, review the zoning district requirements regarding signs and billboards.
So included in the packet was the current ordinance regarding signs and billboards. This was a request by Supervisor Jamadi to have it added on. I'm not sure after review from it in the packet if there was additional questions. We may wanna hold it till next month because of Supervisor Jamadi's request too.
I would recommend we hold it because I see nothing wrong with the ordinance as it's written, but she must have some ideas.
And I don't believe we need a motion to move it to the next month's agenda.
You can just reference it on the next agenda items.
Okay.
Did you have anything you wanted to add to ordinance?
No,
Okay.
other than just maybe a general comment, if you, so we'll likely see this on the next agenda. If you do review this and have any ideas or questions or concerns, if you could forward those to Emily, and then we can prepare maybe some suggestions or review that in the zoning administrator report.
Thank you.
I just have one question, and I might as well bring it up now as later, I guess. There are some abandoned signs in the area. Whose responsibility is that to get those taken care of?
So if you noted the locations where those are, Emily would follow up with them.
So it should just be,
It would go through zoning enforcement.
Okay.
Yes, yep. We'd have to establish that abandonment if they are abandoned, yep.
I know there's a couple over there by the S-turns that are 10 years old, I guess, and some of those businesses aren't even around anymore.
Four Lakes Electric is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been abandoned.
Okay, yeah, we would just have to follow up. I'm sorry, where is that again?
On the S-turns on D,
In County D.
Between 8th and 6th.
Okay,
there's the town maintenance fellas take them down then, or what happens?
No, we would work with the property owner to have them removed. Yeah, if they're not in road right away, we wouldn't have authority to enter the property to take them
No, I
down.
don't think they are.
They're in Hoffman's property.
Yep, so we would work with them to have them
Okay.
removed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good ordinance, it's like, it's riveting, so. It's riveting.
That's a good way to put it. Okay, thank you. Item number 16 is discussion on possible referral of future agenda, review zoning code requirements regarding short-term rental licensing procedures.
So this item was also suggested by Supervisor Giamatti at the last meeting to be added to the agenda. I think the conversation at that moment was just the use of the conditional use as part of the overall licensing process. That would be just what we would be addressing as far as the overall licensing process. As noted several times tonight, there's other items that go into that, a police inspection, fire inspection, a building inspection, licensing through the county, so we'd only be addressing that conditional use piece. But I think Supervisor Giamatti had noted that there was some supervisors missing the first time that we had that conversation, and so if we wanted to revisit it, and the use of conditional use as part of the licensing.
I think the upgrade that you did with the finding of the fact is tremendously helpful.
Yes, it was very smooth.
I'd also just make a general comment. In the packet was our zoning code provisions for conditional use permits. Just a general note, we did substantially update this after Act 67, as we should have and did. So I don't know that there have been any recommendations to modify our conditional use permit process or ordinance language. If there is, if you could, in the same way as I mentioned on the last agenda item, if you could forward those and we can review those suggestions. Otherwise, I think as Jamie had mentioned, I think the general conversation was surrounding our process and the involvement of the conditional use permit in that process.
Okay, then my suggestion is gonna be that we move that to next month's agenda as well.
Okay.
Being that Lori, I think, had a lot of questions about it, and she's in her absence, I think we should just move it to next month.
Did this start from 2 meetings ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I think we had the conversation 2 meetings ago about that there is value to conditional use, that if it is a conditional use, it's planned. If it's not planned, it's not a conditional use.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it might be something else, but it's not that.
Okay. Item number 17, discussion and possible referral or future agenda. Review potential draft language for zoning district requirements regarding allowed number of accessory structures and lot coverages by buildings.
Take
Nick?
it away, Nick.
So I can, although I think there is also a gentleman that I think was here for this agenda item. I'll just mention that because before you had discussed that, there may be an individual that wants to speak. Just a general comment, this is coming back to you. You had reviewed this, it probably was maybe 3-4 months ago. You reviewed it preliminarily. It was then referred to the subcommittee who's been working on the comp plan amendments and recommendations in that regard. Also is now taking a look at certain provisions of our zoning ordinance and making recommendations. That subcommittee has made recommendations on the accessory structures permitted, limitations in that regard, and also lot coverage regulations. You have that before you in your packets. I would just make one further comment. Along with what Jamie had referenced that the joint subcommittee is working on, the other piece in that canopy kind of consideration is that the subcommittee is working on certain definitions as it relates to certain accessory structures. We are going through that process right now. Because there are references to those in this language, it may be valuable to hold until we get something recommended from them as far as definitions and how we're going to regulate, because we definitely have references here in this ordinance language that relates back to what that subcommittee is currently working on and is likely going to be making recommendations regarding.
That would make sense.
It would, yeah. We don't need to do it twice.
I believe there was, like Nick said, there was a gentleman, sir. Did you need to speak regarding this issue at all?
Yes.
You want to come up to the podium, please?
Dean Strander, I'm 256 8th Avenue, just south of D. And I've had two of these structures on my property in Columbia County. And I moved here, built a big shed on the property, and want to put two of these, just to put my skid loader. You know, you tour around this town of Rome, and you see a lot of people with a lot of equipment just setting out. This thing hides it, puts it in a building that looks, you know, yeah, it's not a hardcore building, but they work well. This structure has been in Columbia County for 6 or 8 years. I disassembled it, brought it here. Actually, how I found out about it, I came up to talk to Emily to say, all right, what's my setback from property line? And she said, oh, wait a minute, that's not even allowed. I said, what the hell do you mean it's not allowed?
These are recorded meetings.
Pardon me?
These are recorded and played live for the community.
Okay. So anyway, you know, I look at why is it not allowed? I'm not putting a car underneath it. I'm not putting, you know, my plan is to put my fishing boat under one, my skid loader and my lawnmowers under another. And I do have a 40 by 50 with 15-foot sidewall building right adjacent to it. I'm on 3+ acres. It's not like I'm right next to somebody's house. In fact, I'm right adjacent to a junkyard that's behind me. That's 30+ vehicles on a car on a lot. I don't know how the heck that is allowed, but you know, we're just and I'm not here to complain about the guy. I'm just saying that I'm trying to keep things out of sight, and there's a property that's adjacent to me that's got multiple vehicles and campers and whatever sitting on it. So what is the reasoning for not having, if it's not being used for like a vehicle that could, you know, Emily said it's a snow load issue. Believe it or not, Columbia County has gotten a lot more snow than Adams County for the last several years. Never been a snow load issue. Maybe the way somebody put one up could be a problem, yes.
How is your property zoned?
I'm not here to answer that
How
because I
much
don't know.
property do you have?
3 point some acres.
Where, could you repeat the address one more time?
256 8th Avenue.
This issue, we're talking mainly R1, R2.
I think it's R1
This is
to
R2.
R3, okay. R3 is 5 acre.
But did you, I didn't see the picture. Is this more of a carport-like structure that it has open sides?
Not open sides and not open-ended. It's all closed. And when I disassembled it, I ordered new material for it, and I ordered it's a 15 to 20 year material. And I ordered it in a dark gray because some of them are almost brilliant silver, which really sticks out. I didn't want that. I wanted it to be blending in, you know, blending into the building that's there already and just into the woods that's surrounding it.
And how many did you say you intended to put up?
2, which I already have, and they're 10 by 20. Like I said, my boat just barely fits into one, and a skid loader and mowers fit into another. And I actually was just going to order the gravel to make a pad, because I want to, you know, I don't want them sitting where, I mean, typically you want to build them up on a gravel pad so you don't have water standing in them. And thank God I didn't order the gravel before I talked to Emily. You know, I never had a thought that they wouldn't be okay, especially since you see a lot of them in the town and all over. But I bet there's 1,000 of those things in the town of Rome scattered around.
He's in R2, so it would apply.
put up a,
And you have, so there's a home there, and then there's an accessory structure. So then again, under this language, it would be the maximum of 2 accessory structures within that zoning and the 20% lot coverage. So there wouldn't, you wouldn't be able to put up, if it was adopted, 2 of them, right? Because he's already has an accessory garage, so you'd only be allowed 1 additional accessory structure.
Okay, I do have a question on that. I would like to put post in-ground accessory structure with hard roof, possibly some sides, virtually to put a motor home underneath for winter. Is that allowed? If it would be allowed if I had these up there?
Because it would be permittable structures and would be, shall be limited to 2, and you already have an accessory garage. So if you had these 2 structures up, that would be 4, right? You wouldn't be able, yeah, that would be 4. You would be allowed 2 accessory structures.
Okay, so the 40 by 50 building that I have there now is considered an accessory structure?
It's not attached to the home.
Right. So I'll be only allowed one beside that?
In this language, and then up to 20% lot coverage, yes. Which it's a large lot, so that's wouldn't really be a consideration. It's 3 acres.
2 in shed, right?
2 in a shed, and that shed would be 150 square foot or less. That's what we deem as a shed, is we say 150 square foot or less.
Even these are 200 square foot. They're 10 by 20s. So what you're saying is I'm not gonna be able to build these?
This language isn't adopted, that's why we're here. So your timing is good.
Okay.
That's why we're having the conversation.
Well, just to be honest with you, I really do consider, I built this shed so that I can put my motorhome in it in the wintertime. We're gone, we go to Florida for 5 to 6 months in the winter. And that works out fine. Well, then I help my son out in his business in Columbia County. And I used to use my motorhome down there, but decided that couldn't use it because it's always down there. So I bought a pull-behind camper to live in on my property down there. But I need a place to put it under a roof in the winter. Put the motorhome inside. And that's why I thought about a in-ground or post-in-ground building for that. So that's why I don't want to put these up and jeopardize putting one of them up. So I guess I'm here to ask, what at this point should I do? Wait for some better direction?
I would wait to see what we end up coming with out of the subcommittee that we have going right now. But
And when do you think that might be?
Oh, I think we're probably at least 2 months before we've got something here, because we're still working on definitions of the different types of structures. So, but not to put any ideas in anybody's heads, but if you extend the roof line off your current building, you could probably.
I thought about that. If I'd have realized it, I'd have probably built it a little further away from the lot line, but putting a lean-to on the backside is not, I'm too close. I'm 15 feet off the lot line. I can't get it wide enough to and still stay away far enough. I did think about putting it on the other side, and if I did that, then that doesn't constitute a second building, is that correct? If you just added to that roof line?
The expansion of an existing.
Okay.
So to that point, because, part of what you're asking, I think, is where you go from here. There's obviously a timeline that was referenced for consideration of this language, but in the meantime, you can work with the zoning administrator to explore what those options are and those ideas, because I think, as was just mentioned, there are some maybe potential options for it.
Are you talking Emily then? Yeah, okay. All right, so I better just hold off on these.
I would.
Yeah. And do you think, well, yeah, you don't know. I'm not gonna ask you what you think, their thoughts at the possibility.
Those aren't really a canopy. They're
Pardon me?
enclosed completely on both ends. I wouldn't think they classify as a canopy. It's a building
That's what we're working through.
Yeah, so just one point is that their canopy is one thing that they're looking at. They're looking, there's not definitions for a number of things. And I think we're trying to work through some clearer definitions and an idea of what we're regulating and how we're regulating them. So it's a little bit early in that but I'm not disagreeing with your statement. I just think that we've recognized there are some lack of definitions for some of these structures, and we should probably clarify them. But in the meantime, working with Emily is probably your best
All right,
steps.
well, I'll do that. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So then item number 17 will be added to next month's agenda as well. Or do we just leave it off until such time as the subcommittee comes up with their definitions and,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I don't think you'll see that one back for 2-3 months.
I agree. So for our next agenda items, Jamie, do you have anything that you're aware of right now?
I know we will have 2 short-term rentals. I just also, I dropped this picture for you. I just, potential next agenda item. So this picture with the colors on the back, this is Rome Country Meats. And I just wanted to give an update that the plan that you saw had a 3-tone building, and it's gonna be 2-tone building. That roof is gonna match that structure. This building doesn't represent that front porch, because again, 50%'s gotta be drawn out in the front area in Rome Town Center. But I wanted to just bring forward that is gonna be a potential site change. I don't know that it's substantial, it's a color, but I wanted to make you aware of it.
One question on that is the colors. It's not 3 colors now, but one of the colors is still the same color that they had previously.
Yes, yep, it's still the colors selected, but that roof line would not be that additional evergreen. Given this is in the commercial district, given it's a site plan of operation, I wanted to make sure that plan commission knew that as the building goes up, it should be all framed next week, and you see that, you'd be like, where's the green? So, if there are concerns, that can be brought back, but it would be something I'd have to communicate to the owner, quite quickly.
I think this looks fine myself.
And then 2 other things that would be on the next agenda would be the 2 items that were held off this agenda for next month. So one would be the signs and billboards, second being our code requirements regarding short-term rental licensing procedure.
Great.
Anything else any plan commissioners wanna see on the next meeting?
You think that site plan for the bird place is gonna be there? No?
We got a little ways on that.
Okay, anything else? Hearing nothing, then our next meeting date and time will be September 13th at 4:00 PM, right back here. And after that, I declare the meeting adjourned at 4:46.
Very good.
Thank you, everyone.